but your carbon footprint, like like I'm Catholic now, but of climate change.
Right. What's your
why was
sins?
I born?
Right.
I shouldn't even be on the earth. I'm so bad for existing. Why don't I find Jesus if we're going to do that game, right? Where I feel guilty for being around.
For carbon.
Well, guys on a goddamn plane, private jet telling me that.
Well, it offsets it, all his global health work.
Yeah, that church thought that you could offset sin by paying for it, and then they had a schism, I think. So I think it didn't work out.
The fucking Al Gore movie was so wrong in so many ways. If you go back and watch that movie, didn't he say about like 2005, the fucking polar ice caps were going to be gone? Like the whole thing was so nutty.
Yo, more shit's coming true out of dumbass Revelation book in the Bible than anything Al Gore said. Is that disturbing?
It's very disturbing.
I mean, if you like,
it's very disturbing.
Yeah, like they wrote it and are fulfilling it themselves. Disturbing is how it feels like to me.
It's one of those things. Like you're a vaccine denier. You know,
Good.
It's the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a climate denier, you denied Christ.
Yeah, well, Fauci's got the what do they call it? The Jesuit look, the wire glasses, and that you could see it like transferring that weird Robin DiAngelo. She said it. I want my Catholic guilt to be your policy on race now.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so it's like, you're racist because you were just born a Caucasian. You have to understand that. So because you can't help but be racist, I need you to be racist against yourself from now on. That's what they were teaching. And you're like, okay.
The people right now that are still on Fauci's side, that still think he did a great job.
Yeah.
And that he was, there's still people out there that really think that he didn't know about the lab leak theory and that he didn't coerce people into changing their stories and didn't have a power to grant money.
And they're not going to look into it.
They're not going to look into it. They think that Trump is an evil man because all Fauci did was do a good job and he saved millions of lives. Do you know that the vaccine saved millions of lives? You got to repeat that.
It did?
It saved millions of lives.
Not even arguably in there? It's going to work.
Millions and millions of lives.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised just because after I got it, I immediately got COVID, so I'm a little surprised.
Well, here's the thing.
It slowed the spread.
You're not scientific, and you don't trust the science. And that's why we're having an argument about this, and I have to clap back at you. I think it's called clapping back.
Yeah, a James Clapback from James Clapper. It's a CIA invention. You give him a clapback.
We don't even know how many people
I didn't
saved.
say Hunter's laptop was Russian I said it had the earmarks of a information operation.
Yeah, and someone who's on crack who just films his dick 24 hours a day
Dude's
does
a
have the
legend.
earmark. Yeah, I mean, the guy did it so wild that it seems fake.
Why is Hunter not a political streamer with this level of degeneracy?
He really should have a fucking Twitch channel. He would rule.
Dude, Hunter, just play.
Just go hard. Your dad's dead. Go hard now. You can go hard now. Get back on the wagon.
His piece soft, let me tell you, nothing to sneeze at. He took a lot of... China knows now.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. But they knew already. That was one of the reasons why they were paying that guy. Like,
why did Biden pardon Bidens that I've never heard of?
Because they were all guilty, apparently.
Yeah, and why... I didn't know banks were reporting suspicious activity. You know, because he has... You know, the shell company Galaxy?
A bunch of suspicious activity.
By the way, a normal person has 20 shell companies. I don't know if you know that.
I have 80.
Yeah, well, you're smart.
I keep them in my pocket.
Your shell companies?
Yeah. The whole idea behind a fucking full pardon, there's almost none left. You want some more? I can get more made.
No, I probably enough, but go ahead.
The whole idea behind pardons is supposed to be there's a crime that you did that we think you served enough time and the president has enough information or whatever.
You're
think,
admitting to it.
Well, it's like this weird power that you have to commute sentences and to pardon people for crimes, alleged crimes that they were convicted for.
Do you know that the Justice Department under Biden, as they so eloquently said to the January 6 people, if you accept it, because remember they were like, Trump's going to do preemptive pardons. Remember that?
Right.
Biden would never do that, if we recall. And they got letters. Just so you know, if you accept the pardon, that means you're saying you're guilty, and it doesn't unring, there's the quote, unring the bell of your prosecution. Jeez. And they're right, it doesn't, because now, and that's what, what's his name, was talking about with Fauci, like, you can't plead the fifth ever again if you take a pardon.
That's what we were talking about last night.
So if Fauci's going to rat people out, that's cool. I hope we stick with it.
If they bring him in and they make him sing, the thing is, like, he could perjure himself. Like, if they know something and you say something that is not true on the stand, or if you lie on this, if they determine, now you have a whole nother crime.
Yeah.
And the thing that they didn't pardon him for is the stuff that happened during the AIDS crisis. I don't know what the statute of limitations on that stuff is. But if you go back and you want to try him for what he knew, I mean, this is the Dallas Buyers Club. If you want to try him for what he knew about suppressing other therapeutics other than AZT, or if you knew that he had the data on AZT and how quickly it was killing people.
Yeah, well, once you do the first batch of mass murder, it's easy to go from there, isn't it?
But in the 1980s and 90s, like, no one knew what the fuck was going on. There's no internet. There's no RFK Jr. spreading the word with his book. Like, no one gets that information. So that happened for a long-ass time. And then when he tried to do it again in 2019, the single fucking solution is the vaccine and the vaccine only. People will drop their ideological bullshit and get vaccinated.
You know, Matt Orfalea does those great compilations of him saying the opposite in the same breath.
He's crazy. That's a person that's in an extreme position of power that probably got drunk with it. And, you know, and is able to justify a lot of wild shit.
Okay, the way they can justify it is because most of these people are controlled by some kind of intel. Hopefully ours, but maybe not. And we still do gain of function. Hey, good news, we do gain of function. And with China, our adversary still. I don't know why that would be.
But wasn't that also the talk about Ukraine, that Ukraine had